She won't tell you this. She keep it buried beneath sarcastic texts and half smiles. She act like she did notice what you said, how you looked at her, how close you stood when you spoke. But her body noticed. Her nervous system noticed. Her soul noticed. Because whether she says it out loud or not, a woman knows when a man is flirting in a way that feels different. Not like the boys who try too hard, not like the men who perform, brag, or talk their way into attention, but in the way that's quiet, controlled, charged like electricity under the surface of calm. Most men flirt to get a response. A stoic man flirts to create a feeling, and that's what she never forgets. It's not the words that linger, it's the sensation. It's the way her heart quickens when he looks at her without smiling, but with intention. It's the way he listens, not to respond, but to see her. It's the calm confidence in the way he stands, the way he doesn't chase, the way he doesn't need anything from her. And yet, his presence shifts her whole mood. You see, most men rely on was clever lines, exaggerated gestures, flashy status. But the flirting she secretly loves is the kind that doesn't scream for her attention, pulls it without trying, without force, without desperation. It's the eye contact that holds without clinging. The slight smirk that says, I see you, the way he walks away first, leaving her thinking, wondering, craving. And the truth is, a woman's desire doesn't live in what you say. It lives in what you withhold, in what you imply. Without explaining in the tension between what's said and what's left unsaid. This video is not for men who want quick tricks. It's for the man becoming uncheckable. The man who leads with presence. The man who understands that the most seductive kind of flirting is restraint. Because when a stoic man flirts, it's not to impress her. It's to awaken something in her she didn't even know she was waiting to feel, ready to become that man. Let's begin. Flirting, for most men, that word brings up images of corny pickup lines, awkward smiles, or a loud performance of false confidence. For others, it's a game of overcompensating, trying to impress her with status, jokes, or charm that comes off more anxious than attractive. But here's the truth. Women don't fall for noise. They fall for the man who can create electricity in silence. A man who doesn't perform at projects. A man who doesn't try to prove his worth because he embodies it. You see, women are wired to respond to energy. Not the energy you show virion, but the energy you hold in your core. It's in your presence, your stillness, your ability to stay centered when other men are desperate for validation. She notices, even if she pretends not to, she notices the way you enter the room, not rushed, not needy, not scanning for attention. She notices how you speak, not too much, not too fast, but with precision. She notices how you don't look away quickly when your eyes meet hers, but you also don't leer. She notices when you don't jump every opportunity to talk because you didn't chase moments, you choose them. That is flirting. Not the kind that gets cheap laughs or temporary interest. The kind that lives in her memory long after the conversation ends. A stoic man understands this. He doesn't flirt for attention. He flirts with restraint, with gravity, with self-command. He understands that real flirting is about saying the right thing. It's about creating an experience. It's the emotion behind the words. The silence between sentences, the subtext that says, I didn't need you, but I'm fully present with you. That kind of man doesn't have to tell a woman he's confident. She feels it. He doesn't try to make her law, but when he finally does, it means something. He doesn't compliment their appearance immediately, but when definitely gives a compliment, it cuts deep. He doesn't fumble over his words because he speaks only when he means to. This isn't about manipulation. This is about mastery. It's about emotional discipline, masculine presence, and energetic leadership. And the woman who has done the inner work. The woman who has matured beyond surface-level validation. She's not turned on by the guy who tries too hard. She's drawn almost magnetically to the man who moves like he knows who he is. That's what we're building in this video, not just another list of flirting tips, but a deeper understanding of how to lead with presence and create tension without ever being theatrical. Because when a Stoic man flirts, he doesn't just get her attention. He awakens her curiosity, her femininity, her desire. And the best part, she never even be able to explain why. She just feel it and remember you. Let's begin. 1. Eye contact. That doesn't flinch. The silent language of power. Most men either stare too long and make her uncomfortable, or they look away too quickly and seem unsure. But a Stoic man knows how to hold eye contact with calm precision. He doesn't skim the room. He doesn't break under pressure. When his eyes meet hers, there's no question of his intent is calm, will present. This kind of eye contact communicates something primal, a message that says, I see you. I'm not chasing, but I'm aware women are biologically wired to respond to nonverbal cues. And the eyes, when steady and relaxed, transmit strength. They convey, I don't need you, but I see value in you. She will look away first, smile slightly, maybe touch her neck, but she remember the way your eyes made her feel. That kind of look lingers, not because of what you did, but because of what you withheld. This eye contact says, I've seen storms and survived them. It shows that you don't fear connection, but you also don't crave approval. When your gaze is steady, it creates mystery. She starts to wonder what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what kind of man you are underneath the calm, this silent tension. The energy behind your stillness creates a feeling she won't be able to shake. She go home thinking about it, replaying it, feeling something unexplainable. That's power to subtle touches that respect her space. The language of safe masculinity. This isn't about being physical for the sake of being physical. Stoic flirting grasps boundaries while expressing intentional presence. A light brush offhand when passing her something. A grounded touch on her back when guiding her through a crowd. The kind of touch that says, I'm here. I lead with care, not hunger. Women notice how you touch. If it's rushed or careless, it signals desperation. But if it's grounded, steady, brief, and respectful, it activates her in ways she doesn't even understand. You're not claiming her space. You're adding calm to it. Your touch should feel like a momentary pulse, subtle enough to feel accidental, but firm enough to linger in her nervous system. It's not about lust, it's about leadership through energy. 3. Playful challenges. Disrupting her script without losing respect. Most guys agree with everything she says. They nod. They laugh too loud. They validate without question. But a Stoic man knows better. He challenged playfully. Not to win, but to engage. When she says, I'm always right, you smile and respond. That explains a lot. When she flirts, you smirk and reply. Is that your best move? You're not trying to insult. You're creating dynamic contrast. It shows you're not intimidated by her charm. You won't fold under her social presence. This creates a dance. Attention she feels on a deeper level. She begins to respect you more because you don't seek her validation. You challenge her to meet you as an equal, and that psychologically stirs attraction. 4. Intentional pauses. The power of charged silence. Women listen between your words. They feel your emotional rhythm. And the man who knows how to pause, who doesn't rush to speak, creates mystery, confidence, and grounding. When you respond too fast, it's often reactive. But when you pause, breathe, think, then respond, she feels that you're intentional, gives weight to her words. It allows her space to reflect, and that space creates attraction. Silence isn't awkward if you're at peace with yourself. A Stoic man isn't afraid of empty space because he's full internally. And when she leans into the pause, she leans into you. 5 compliments that reflect depth, not surface-level observations. Beautiful is common, gorgeous is everywhere. But when you say you have a way of making people feel calm, or there's something in your presence that's grounding, it cuts through the noise. Women are used to being noticed for how they look. What they crave is being seen for who they are. When your compliment reveal something beyond the surface, something she didn't even know she was showing, she never forget it. Create emotional intimacy. She associates your presence with being understood. Sex. Leaving on a high note. The art of emotional echo. Most men stay too long. They overextend. But a stoic man knows when to walk away, when the energy peaks, when she's smiling, when the letter is fresh. That's when he exits. This tactic leaves her wanting more. It shows you're not there for endless validation. You know the moment, and you're respected enough to protect it. You didn't dilute your presence by staying until the spark fades. You end the interaction before it overextends, leaving her with a positive, high-energy emotional imprint. And that lingering desire, it will bring her back, whether with a message, a glance, or a conversation that starts with, "I was just thinking about you." 7. Flirting through presence. The ultimate signal of strength. You don't need flashy moves or loud jokes or over-the-top confidence. A stoic man flirts with his presence. He listens deeply, speaks only when it matters. He's still entered, and in that stillness, women feel safe in a world that's constantly shouting. He's a man who whispers, not with his voice, but with his being. And that's the most seductive form of flirting a woman will ever experience. These aren't tactics, they're reflections of who you are. You don't need to act, you just need tone line. Because when you embody presence, restraint, and grounded confidence, Shadowson just notice you. She remembers you, even long after you're gone. If you've made it this far, you're not like most men. You're not chasing gimmicks. You're not chasing women. You're chasing mastery of yourself, your energy, your presence, and that's rare. Flirting isn't about saying the perfect line. It's about becoming the kind of man who doesn't need to try so hard. Because everything about him, from his silent settle, his gaze to his emotional rhythm, already speaks volumes. Women don't remember the men who shouted the loudest. They remember the men who moved with calm confidence, the ones who could flirt without saying much, the ones who didn't need to be noticed because their presence was impossible to ignore. So if you're ready to become that man to live with stillness, flirt with intention, and lead from a place of inner power, you're in the right place. Hit that subscribe button right now. Join a brotherhood of men who don't play games. They master themselves. Tap that like button if this video resonated with your soul. Not for validation, but to reinforce the movement we're building, one man at a time. And if you know a friend who's still out there chasing attention, send this to him, because maybe what he needs isn't more advice. It's alignment. This is Stoic paradox, where men become forces of nature, where women feel drawn, not chased, and where power comes not from what you say, but from what you hold. See you in the next zone. Brother, stay grounded, stay dangerous.